Have you ever been completely alone? Think about it. You are sitting in your room. No internet, no phones, no distractions. Just you and your hands. What do? You get bored. Really bored. Now, imagine this exact same scenario, but it is 100,000 years ago. You are a caveman. The sun goes down at 6 p.m. It is freezing outside. There are saber-toothed tigers waiting in the dark. You are stuck inside a tiny, damp cave for 12 hours. Every single night. You cannot hunt. You cannot forage. You cannot invent the wheel yet. You are just sitting there in the dark. The boredom is absolute torture. So what did our ancient ancestors do to pass the time? Did they play the solo game? Did ancient humans activate single-player mode? To answer this highly uncomfortable but scientifically fascinating question, we need to look away from humans for a second. Look at the animal kingdom. Look at monkeys. Look at squirrels. Look at horses, elephants, and even walruses. If you observe nature long enough, you will realize something shocking. Almost every single mammal on Earth plays the solo game. They do it openly. They do it constantly. They do not care who is watching. Why? In nature, energy is everything. Animals do not waste energy on things that do not help them survive. If an animal runs, it is chasing food or running from a predator. If an animal sleeps, it is saving energy. So why spend precious calories on playing single player? Evolution is brutally efficient. It does not keep useless habits. If a behavior exists across millions of species for millions of years, it has a biological purpose, a very important one. Let's dive into the human brain. Your brain is a survival machine. It constantly scans the world for threats. Back in the Stone Age, your brain was always on high alert. You could starve, you could freeze, you could be eaten by a giant bear. This constant state of terror creates massive amounts of cortisol. Cortisol is the stress hormone. A little bit of cortisol keeps you alive. Too much cortisol literally destroys your immune system. It damages your heart. It stops you from sleeping. A highly stressed caveman is a dead caveman. So how does the body fix this? How does a prehistoric human lower their stress levels without modern medicine, therapy, or taking a vacation? Evolution gave them a built-in biological pressure valve, a secret cheat code. When you play the solo game, your brain releases a massive tsunami of chemicals. Dopamine hits your system like a freight train. Endorphins flood your body. Oxytocin is released. This chemical cocktail is the most powerful natural painkiller and stress reliever on the planet. Within seconds, your heart rate drops. Your muscles relax. Your breathing slows down. The cortisol vanishes. You feel safe. You feel calm. Most importantly, you feel incredibly sleepy. For an ancient human trapped in a terrifying, dangerous world, this was a survival superpower. It allowed them to power down their nervous system and get the sleep they needed to survive the next day. It was not a dirty secret. It was a biological necessity. But wait, it gets crazier. Scientists have discovered that playing the solo game actually flushes out bacteria. For ancient humans living in dirty, unhygienic conditions, this was a way to keep their reproductive systems clean. It functioned as an evolutionary defense mechanism against infections. It was literally part of their immune system. So if it is so natural, why is it such a massive taboo today? Why do we hide it? Why do we lock the door, close the blinds, and pretend it never happens? That is a purely modern invention. For most of human history, people did not care. If you look at ancient cave paintings, you will see it. If you look at ancient Egyptian scrolls, it is there. Ancient Greek and Roman art, it is everywhere. They did not hide it because they did not have the concept of privacy. Privacy is a modern luxury. When you live in a cave with 15 other people or in a one-room mud hut, nothing is private. Everything you do is public.
The idea that the solo game is a shameful secret only started a few thousand years ago. When humans stopped moving and built giant civilizations, rules had to change. Society needed structure. Religion and laws were created to control human behavior. Energy was supposed to be spent on working the fields, building pyramids, or fighting wars. Wasting energy on yourself was suddenly seen as unproductive to the empire. The single-player mode was banned. You were only allowed to play co-op. But biology doesn't care about human laws. You can build cities. You can invent the internet. You can wear a suit to an office job. But underneath that suit, you are still operating on the exact same software as the caveman sitting in the dark. Your brain still uses the exact same cheat code to relieve stress. So the next time you feel a little guilty about firing up the solo campaign, remember this: you are not doing anything wrong. You are just accessing a 12-million-year-old biological pressure valve that kept your ancestors from losing their minds in a freezing cave. It is the oldest survival trick in the book. Thanks for hanging out! If you enjoyed this weird trip into our ancient past, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Got a strange question about human history you want answered? Drop it in the comments below, and maybe we'll cover it next. See ya!